Let's give him some encouragement. Go, 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 go. 2-7, 7-2, 19, 2-7. It's nice. Final strike. It's Bert. Nice job, Bert. How about a nice hand for Bert, America's favorite monkey jockey. Give him a hand. Job well done.
Hey everyone, welcome to No Loop, and today we're discussing 10 of the most bizarre animal races around the world. Humans are competitive creatures. They enjoy winning. Those who can race. Those who can't, train animals to compete in their place. It is hard to determine when the first animal races were held, although it was most likely a long time ago. There was probably something bet on the outcome as well. You may now bet on the outcome of a dizzying array of animal races, and here's a list of the 10 most bizarre races on the planet. Number 10. Oxford-Cambridge Goat Race. The annual Oxford and Cambridge Boat Race is one of the highlights on the British athletic calendar. The first race between the two historic universities of England was held on the Thames in 1829, with about 250,000 spectators cheering on the boats from the banks. The Oxford-Cambridge Goat Race is a lesser known but equally spectacular event. Every year at Spitalfields City Farm, you can witness two goats compete for the glory of their university. One wears the majestic blue of Oxford, while the other wears the somewhat different blue of Cambridge. Because goats are not the most biddable of animals, a person carrying a bucket of food lures the two along the track. Interestingly, the race between Oxford and Cambridge is not the only goat race. On the Tuesday following Easter, you may see many goats trotting in competition in Tobago. The race was originally held on the streets, but it has since been moved to a 100 million athletic venue. Number 9. Tortoise and Hare. If Aesop was alive, he'd be one of the greatest storytellers of antiquity. Some of the most renowned stories in the world may be found in the collection of short fables that bears his name. The morals of the boy who cried wolf, the sour grapes, and the town and country mice are easily understood by most youngsters. The tortoise and the hare both know that slow and steady wins the race. However, some people cannot just appreciate a nice narrative. Some people want to reenact the race between the sluggish tortoise and the fast hare. There are several videos available online that depict these competitions. Surprisingly, it appears that Aesop was correct. In most genuine races, the tortoise slowly shuffles to victory at the finish line, but the rabbit loses interest and just stops to nibble the grass. Number 8. Ostrich races.
And there they go! Number 3, Stephen Curry, very rambunctious. Great start for Brexit. Good start for Kim Kardashian. After that, cruising for a bruising. It is Brexit. Kim Kardashian.
Ostriches can reach speeds of 45 miles per hour, which translates to 70 kilometers per hour. They are also the tallest and heaviest of all living birds, and when attacked, they can deliver a vicious kick. This adds to the strangeness of ostrich racing. In ostrich racing, the birds are not only raced against each other, but they are also ridden by jockeys. The ostriches were once harnessed to tiny carriages that pulled the driver. Today, the jockeys hold as tightly as they can to the backs of the birds. They just have the feathers to grip onto, which is probably not ideal for the ostriches. Many jockeys do not get it to the finish line. Number 7. Yabby races. If you're fed up with not being able to eat the animals at the end of the race, there's an Australian sport for you. Yabbies are Australian crayfish that are great boiled or roasted. They make for fascinating races as well. 10 yabbies are placed in the center of a ring, drawn on the ground for each race. They are marked with numbers painted on them, using white out to distinguish them. When the winner places its claw outside the ring, the contest is over. The bets on the game are put in the form of an auction. Bidders declare the amount and price they are willing to pay. All of the money earned is placed in a pot. The losers may also be placed later. And the owner of the winning yabby receives the entire pot. Number 6. Makepung buffalo races. boredom may produce some of the most fun games. Farmers in Bali were carrying in the rice crop with their buffalo one day when they decided to make it a race. That is how Makapung came to be. 2 bull buffalo are roped to a cart on which a rider stands as they go along a track. The buffalo are decked out for the event, complete with painted horns and elaborate necklaces and garlands. The race may not be altogether enjoyable for them, as the drivers twist the buffalo's tails and lash their backs with a whip to urge them to maximum speed. The winners will receive some form of reward. Bulls who win can be sold for a high price and used to mate other racing bulls for the rest of their life. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to our channel or ring the bell to get notified of our latest videos. Number 5. Banner races. Thoroughbred horses used in standard races are lean and have shining coats, but appearances aren't everything. Horse races are held in Japan to measure the horse's speed and strength. Banei are races in which draft horses drag large sleds along an uphill and downhill circuit. Behind them, a jockey propels them forward. These sleds may weigh as much as a ton. Horse racing developed as a byproduct of agriculture, with horses being raised while pulling crops or moving machinery. Because of the weight of the sled, races may involve a halt after the first uphill to enable the horses to rest before tackling the second incline. The sport had nearly died out, but because of the popularity of betting on the tournaments, it has made a comeback. Number 4. Cane Todd Racing. In Australia, cane toads are a nuisance. They were first imported to Australia from America in an attempt to control the cane beetle, which was wreaking havoc on sugarcane fields. However, it turned out that the treatment was worse than the sickness. The cane toad population quickly surged, wreaking havoc on their natural habitat. Toads now number in the hundreds of millions, and the cane beetle has barely survived. Attempts to exterminate the toads were met with minimal success. Some people are attempting to discover ways to use the toads, such as combining them into fertilizers or producing leather from their skin. Others have made them into a sport. Cane toad race involves the toads being decorated with ribbons and placed in the center of a ring. They are then freed, and the first to exit the ring is declared the winner. Toads are purchased at an auction, similar to yabby racing, and the winning owner receives the portion of the total money earned. Some of the award money is donated to charity, usually to help eradicate cane toads. Number 3. Snail Racing. Races are often fast-paced, adrenaline-pumping events. Snail racing is a more relaxing sport. The race is one of the few animal events that can be staged on a tabletop, making it accessible to virtually everybody. Typically, the common European garden snail is employed. Once again, distinguishing between competitors might be difficult. Racing snails are often colored to aid in the identification of race competitors. They are then put in the center of a 12-inch diameter ring, with the winner being the first to cross the edge. Cunningham, England hosts the world's longest running snail race. To give you a sense of the speeds involved in snail racing, consider that the quickest ever winner finished in 2 minutes. Number 2. Shetland Pony Grand National. Have you ever wanted to see a horse racing but felt the horses were too big? Welcome to the fun-sized world of Shetland pony racing. Shetland ponies are strong little horses developed to drive small carts. They were employed in mines for many years since they did not block the shaft in the mine. Most Shetland ponies are now maintained as pets, while some are employed instead of guide dogs. Both the horses and jockeys in Shetland pony racing are smaller than typical, because mounting an adult on Shetland pony would most likely result in a collapsed pony. The riders are mainly youngsters. Children can ride until they reach the height of 5 feet, which is 1.5 meters. The Grand National is the most renowned horse race in the United Kingdom, and the Grand National Shetland Pony event is identical in all ways but scale. The jumps are the appropriate size for their appropriately adorable jumpers. Number 1. Monkey Jockey Greyhound Race. It is likely unjust to include incidents involving humans in the list of animal races. To compensate, here is an event that contains not only one, but 2 species. Greyhounds are a typical racing animal, but riding them with monkeys on their backs is unusual. The events began in Australia in the 1920s and spread to the United States in the 1930s. The monkeys were fastened to the backs of the greyhounds, dressed in miniature silks that resembled those used by human jockeys. A patent application was filed in 1933 for the creation of a tiny saddle and harness for the monkey riders. The popularity of monkey jockeys did not endure long. Many individuals thought the sport was cruel to the monkeys and greyhounds participating. It can only be seen today in blurry film from the time. And that brings us to the end of the video. If you've come this far, thank you for watching. And please don't forget to like and subscribe and tell us in the comments what would you want us to talk about in the next video. Thank you.